Hi everybody, I'm back with my 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween series, and I think last year or the year before we made these cute little candy corn favor treat boxes. These are kind of small, but they're cute for little party favors or even little trick-or-treats for, you know, some special kiddos you have in your life. But I decided I wanted to make a larger treat box from candy corn. So this is how mine turned out, and it's what we're going to make today. And I went ahead and I took some orange, purple, and white bag filler from the Dollar Tree, and I mixed it all up on my desk, and I put it in a, I'll show you, I put it in a really big bag like this, just so I could get some mixed color for the treat box. And then inside I just have a bunch of candies, and that's the box size. So it's nice and long. You could put a couple packs of Smarties in here, little chocolates, anything you want. And then on top I just rolled up a bunch of that basket filler, bag filler, and that's it. So this is what we're going to make. For the spider web and the little spider here, I used my Stamps of Life spider web die and the spider. And I purchased this on Amazon. I don't know if there's any left. If I can find a link, I will post it below for you guys. And also for the sentiment, hope your Halloween is full of sweet surprises, I used that sentiment from this Darcy's Heart and Home stamp set. And let me see what it's called. Sorry, I have an image here I colored. It's called Ghostly Greetings, and I purchased this from Not Too Shabby Shop, and I'll post a link below to her shop as well. To set those aside, and I'll post a link below to the tutorial for this too if you happen to miss it. And these you can make with your circle dies, but this larger box I cut out with my Cricut. Now if you don't have a Cricut, you might be able to, like if you have 3 bowls or 3 big round objects in your house, cut yourself 3 different size circles. But for my yellow circle, my base piece, I cut this at 11 inches. And then the orange piece that's going to go on top of that, I cut that at 9.5. And then if you have a really good glue stick, you could probably use that. But I just have some liquid glue, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these circles together. And I'm going to try and line them up as best I can so that I have an even amount of yellow showing all the way around. And once we cut these, you may have to go back and glue just a couple pieces if they're loose. And I'll show you that as we go. And then your white piece here that you're going to glue on top, that one measures 8 inches. And again, you want to try to center it as best you can so that there's an even amount of orange showing, kind of like a bullseye, all the way around. Okay, I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to run my bone folder over it just to make sure that's all adhered down really well. And like I said, you may have to go back in and glue some loose pieces together when we're done. Okay, so I'm going to get out my cutter. And we're going to want to cut this circle in half. So, okay, I lined it up at the 5.5 inch mark on this side here. Put it in at 5.5. Okay, and then I cut that circle in half. And then you're going to take it again and move it this way at the bottom of your cutter. You're going to line it up at the 5.5 inch mark again. It's like we're cutting pizza wedges. And you're going to have these two. Now, this is the tricky part. You're going to want to put this point on your score line, or on your cut line here. This bottom point, and then you're going to make sure this point over here is at about 3 7/8 of an inch. So 3 7/8, bottom point on the cut line, and then you're going to, oh, my cutter didn't go all the way through. Let me finish that with my scissor. And then you're going to cut this piece in half. Okay, so then you'll end up with two pieces like this, and this is what we're going to use for our treat box. And you're going to continue to do that with your entire circle. Put the bottom point on your cut line. Make sure this point is at about 3 7/8 of an inch. And cut that in half. Looks like I'm going to have to get a new blade. And you'll do that again with this half. So once you cut all of the circle up, you should end up with enough of these candy corn wedges to make yourself 4 treat boxes. Okay, so let's set that aside. And when you cut it, you're going to pull back and see if there's any loose pieces. Like there's this little piece that didn't get glued there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue in and press that down. And just check your sides. This looks good. Oh, this piece here is missing some glue. So I'm going to go ahead and... That's why I said if you have a really good glue stick that you can glue, you know, run it along the whole entire circles, it might be better. But I just went in and checked my sides, and those look good. So I'm going to want to round my corners with my circle punch. So I'm just going to slide this in. And this one's pretty thick. And it kind of left me a little bit of an edge here, little corner. So I'm just going to cut that off. And then you can line these sides up as well. And round your corners. Takes 2 thumbs for that one. Okay, I'm just going to trim off that little corner piece right there. And then I went in with white or clear glitter glue, orange glitter glue, and yellow. And to both candy corn pieces, I just went over the edge of each piece. Just along the bottom here. Okay, so I did that clear. the next section, orange. I'm kind of holding my breath, guys, while I'm doing this. I don't know, do you ever do that when you're trying to draw a straight line with glitter? You hold your breath? That's what I do. I'm going to use some yellow. And the yellow, instead of going just across the bottom, I kind of went up around that rounded edge a little bit. And finish it off with this one. There I go again. I caught myself holding my breath. Okay. Set that aside, and you're going to set these aside to dry. And while they're drying, we are going to make our treat box. So for your treat box, you're going to need a sheet of cardstock that measures 8 inches by 3.5. Line it up at the 8-inch mark. You're going to score at 3.5. And again at 4.5. Flip it. And you're going to score at 1 inch. Then turn it around to the opposite side. And you're going to score at 1 inch again. And then fold up our score lines. I don't know how you guys feel, but I love candy corn. I look forward every year to when it finally comes out. You can buy it. My favorite is Brock's. Okay, you're going to cut up on this score line and this score line to make yourself 3 tabs. So cut here and here. And you should have a long tab, a short square tab, and another tab here. Flip it around and do the same thing on this side. But I think with candy corn, you either love it or you hate it. I don't think there's any in between. But it's one of my favorite Halloween candies. I like chocolate, but it's not my go-to pick. Okay, so you're going to put glue on this piece, and you're just going to fold this up, and you're going to meet this side with this side. So just like this. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm kind of interested, what is your favorite candy? Even if you don't celebrate Halloween, do you have a favorite candy that you just look forward to having every year? Like sometimes Christmas time, I love when they come out with that peppermint bark. It's my favorite. Okay, so it should look like this, and you're going to add glue to this inside tab and this inside tab. That, and the other favorite chocolate I love is like a butter toffee nut type crunch chocolate. And you're just going to fold them up. And then go in with your bone folder and press down on the inside to make sure those are really nice and adhered. Okay, and that's our treat box. I know it's kind of slender, but it fits a pretty decent amount of candies. And I had to make it slender to fit so when we put it on our box, it actually fits inside without being exposed. Let me see if these are dry. Kind of tacky, but before we glue our candy corn to the treat box, what I did was I took one of those spider webs that I cut out with that die, and I went in and I cut it in half very carefully because these are so skinny, these pieces. So I'm going to put half of it aside for another treat box, and then this half I'm going to glue onto the front of this treat box. I'm just going to go in and add some glue to the web. Here and there. Okay, flip it around, and I put the point down here on the orange, the bottom of the orange, and then I just put most of it up on the top white part. And you're going to want to get that cut piece on the edge here. Okay, and then once that's glued on, I have my little spider that I cut out and my sentiment that I cut out, and I back them with foam tape. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the bottom here. And then right above that, and I kind of angled him a little bit. I'm going to put him right there. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now all we have to do is add it to our box. I've got glue here. Let me wipe that off. It's kind of gunky. So I went ahead around the edges of my treat box, and I'm going to sit it on my table, and I'm just going to try to center my candy corn and back it up to the box, and then you can flip it around and look and see to make sure none of those edges are hanging out. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to get my bone folder again, wherever I put it. Here it is. And just run it along the inside to really make sure that's adhered down. Okay, and the same thing on this side. I'm going to add glue to the edges. And I'm going to back it up, center it as best I can, and then I usually put my 2 fingers on the side to make sure they're level on each side, and then go in again with my bone folder and press it down. And that's it, guys. That is the treat box, and all I have left to do is fill it with some candies and some bag filler, and it's ready to go. So I hope you guys give this a try. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.